Okay, new post, new hole on the Hole Inspector subreddit. Am I the hole for screaming at my husband to get out after he pranked me with flowers? My husband and my marriage is not going well. I'm very close to divorce and I've talked to him about it. I told him I wanted some effort. I wanted flowers, chocolate, a nicely written note, something that showed he wanted to romance me. He finally took it seriously and agreed. When I came home from a 12-hour shift yesterday, he had laid a trail of rose petals in our house. It was so beautiful. The trail ended at the kitchen sink where he had piled a bunch of dirty dishes, pots, and pans to clean. He said he got the idea from TikTok. I screamed at him to get out of my house. He left after arguing a bit. I cried. Some of my friends said I was right, but others say he was just being playful. Am I the hole? If you are to a breaking point where you are begging your partner to show a little bit of interest in you and being like, hey, I would like these specific things from you. I would like for you to show me that I am still wanted romantically, to the point where you're talking about divorce and that has been brought up. You don't joke about it. You don't make a prank out of it. Update. My husband came back home last night. I had cooled off and then he ruined it by saying I was overreacting, that it was funny, and he wanted to make me laugh. I told him I was going to file for divorce because it was the last straw. He then started crying and begging me not to. He begged me to give him a second chance. Brother man, you've been getting second chances. This was the final straw. She delivered the final straw to you. She delivered your second chance on a silver platter and you smacked it out of her hands and went, haha, isn't that funny? And then you had the audacity to be like, you overreacted. You should have laughed. It was funny. I said he already got a second chance and he squandered it by reminding me that I do all the daily chores in this house. This was why our marriage was rocky. I work in the medical field while he is a blue-collar worker. Both of our jobs require long hours, but if I mess up, people die. He once said that I went through all that schooling just to get covered in blood and shit. He took it back after, but he wanted to make me feel low. He started doing that a bit after COVID started. I do the cooking and the cleaning. I do the laundry, the sweeping, the dentist appointments. All he does is create more work for me. He wanted me to pack him lunch because his friends' wives do. His friends' wives are either stay-at-home moms or they have part-time jobs. I do not have the time or the energy to do that. He said he mows the lawn. Well, guess what? It's winter, and I had to shovel the driveway because I had to work in the morning, and he had the day off. I make more money. I bought our house at a low rate during COVID because his credit was too low. I had to save the money for a down payment. I pay our mortgage. What did he contribute to my life? If I didn't have him in my life, I would have clean floors all the time and more money. At least he could contribute love. He said he loved me, but he doesn't do anything to prove it. So I asked him for flowers or chocolate or a nice card, literally anything to show some love. But instead he dropped flower petals to a sink full of dirty dishes, pots, and pans. It's not even original. I'm done. I'm going to file for divorce. Yeah, she was asking for the bare minimum. He couldn't even do that. Right. She was asking below the bare minimum to get started, for even a hint, a whiff, a waft of romance, of love, period, to show that he loved her. What? Yeah, we're reading this one. This post has 73 votes, by the way. 73 upvotes. 73. From 5 years ago. There is no way we ever would have read this post without searching Franzia. Am I the hole for eating all the cheese off the ziti at my kid's school thing? Am I the a-hole for eating all the cheese off the ziti at my kids' thing at school? They sent out a letter that the parents fill out asking for any specific food requirements, and I put keto. Normally I would bring my own food, but since they ask about accommodations, I assumed they would actually accommodate. I found myself in an awkward position where the only food left for me was ziti. So I waited until everyone got their food first and then took the rest of the cheese off the top of the ziti. This was apparently cardinal sin because the moms at the school made a huge deal. They called me out in front of everybody and I got very offended. I made it clear to them that I had no other choices and I was very hungry. All of the other parents started ganging up on me, telling me that I wasn't being conscious of the picky eater children or the other parents and teachers. When I tried to explain my situation, they told me I should have gone out and bought food to bring or make it at home. Ready for this? These Franzia Siphoning Momzillas have no idea how difficult it is to be a single dad in ketosis, though. I tried to explain how expensive it can be to buy keto food, and they said that they were accommodating to special diets, so I didn't cook anything. In the end, they ended up banning me from any more of these events with food. But my daughter is not old enough to be there alone. It's not really fair to her, so am I the a-hole? Edit, I'm on a ketosis diet to control epilepsy. Yeah, the ban is wild. Maybe they truly are Franzia Siphoning Momzillas. No, why ask for special foods then ignore? Yeah, exactly. Why ask for dietary restrictions and then completely ignore it? Especially if you're going to then shame and ban the person for eating the only food that is within their dietary restrictions. That's messed up. That's messed up. Okay, new hole, new dicky. New hole, new dicky. Am I the hole for forcing my son to buy a more appropriate swimsuit? This happened about a week ago, but I wanted to ask. My wife and our son Jax, 18, went on a week-long Caribbean cruise right after his school ended. Jax is a great kid, but he seems to have a confidence issue, as in too much confidence. I've never seen anything like it. He's the most self-assured guy in the world. It's not unfounded. He's great looking and athletic and definitely a Mr. Personality type, but still, a bit goes a long way. He's also something of an exhibitionist, I think, which brings us to the problem. Usually he's so charming it seems harmless and he gets away with it, but in this case, not so. We arrive on the ship and set sail, and Jax gets ready to head out to one of the pools for the first time. Let's just say his swimsuit was not appropriate at all. Definitely a flaunt it type of suit. I told him to put on something else. He had nothing. The kid has packed nothing but those for a week-long cruise. I told him he had to go to one of the onboard stores and buy something else. He protested. I won. He went to a store and came back and got ready to go again, but he had bought another Speedo-style suit that was a lot better than what he had had before, but still not appropriate. And of course, he couldn't return a swimsuit. What? I mean, as long as he doesn't got full hog out in the Speedo, like, what's wrong? I told him to go back, buy a proper suit like trunks or boardy shorts or whatever, which he reluctantly did. He whined about it, begged to wear his original, but I said no. As I said, I have to admire his confidence, as he would have no issue being at the pool like that and will chat up girls all day long. He's a shameless flirt, but there's a time and a place. He was mad at me and said that I made him waste $100+ on 2 new suits he didn't need. He didn't exactly call me an a-hole, but he wasn't happy. I didn't want to ruin his vacation, but I wanted him to be decent. So am I the hole, and should I have just let him wear what he wanted? By the way, if anyone is curious, I made him give me the listing for where he bought the original, although this link might not be totally appropriate for work. A screenshot. This is the listing that was given. This is what his son was wearing. Yeah, the back end does look like it's a bit see-through. Oh, yeah, okay. Important on the listing, important note, lighter colors are more sheer. Black is virtually opaque, whilst white is near transparent when wet. Edit, to clear up a few things, I'm not a prude, not even close. He can usually wear what he wants, I don't care. He has sneaked in friends for skinny dipping parties at home, I don't care. He and 2 friends once went streaking in the neighborhood and were caught by an HOA cop, and I didn't care. He has sex, I don't care. In fact, I buy him condoms and have for a while, and I order them because he has a wicked latex allergy. I'm not a prude. To be honest, I really don't have a problem with the actual Speedos, even though they are not my style. He and all the boys on their team wore them for a water polo and no one cared, and he will occasionally still wear them to the pool, etc. That's fine. I think I had a knee-jerk reaction when he brought them on the ship because he knew that I was asking him to buy regular trunks, but he tried to get as close as possible to what he originally had to pull one over on Dad, and I wasn't having it. I will pay him back for the boardy shorts he bought, which he actually likes. Or say what you like, but the original briefs were very inappropriate. If they had been black, I might have let it slide, but but not with baby blue. They were literally marketed as, hey, look at my big dick. Even more so, they went well beyond that, and there was zero mystery as to what was in them detail-wise. As one responder said, yes, you could even determine one's circumcision status. Clearly. And they weren't even wet yet. If not wanting my kid to wear those in public makes me a prude, then so be it. Thanks to all who responded. I think it's not outside of the realm to be like, hey, you should change. Yeah, on a family cruise. I understand a little bit. You can get kicked off of boats at random ports and it's kind of rubbing on exhibitionist territory. Right. Wear them with your friends, not your family. Yeah. Let's see what the top comment says, because the Reddit flare says everyone sucks here. We have to consider that no one on the cruise is consenting to see Jack's hog like that. Exactly. Why? Emrys, of course you would come in here as soon as I read the line, consenting to see Jax's hog. Welcome in, everyone. Hi, we're talking about full hog. Anyway, what's the verdict on the full hog swimsuit situation here? Have we arrived to a conclusion? I feel like we're in between not the asshole and everyone sucks here. Son should have known better. Dad should have handled it better. Yeah, absolutely. Do we have an Emrys? Do we have an Emrys still? Can you give me a keyword to search the Am I the Asshole subreddit for a new hole? Has hog. We're gonna see what the top hog post is. Am I the asshole for cranking my hog? No. Am I the hole for moving out and taking everything? We're 40-60 in favor of not the hole. Okay. Throwaway for obvious reasons. Update in comments and the cat tax. Cat tax was posted here. We've got a picture of a kitty with absolutely no context so far. Sick. All right. Background. I, 30F, lived with a longtime friend, 30M. We lived together for 6 years and have known each other for 20 years with close families. He was very accepting that I came with a cat. I paid for everything and legally owned her. He adored her though and would spend hours cuddling her. I owned everything, all the furniture and the white goods because I had lived out of home before, but he had not. He got a girlfriend at the 3.5-year mark and she practically moved in immediately. I still paid half the rent though. She was always very rude to me and clearly didn't want me alone with my friend. There was only one lounge attached to the kitchen, so he and I would previously watch TV together or just be in the same room while the other cooked, worked, etc. When she moved in, that had to stop because I was interfering with their couple time. Her attitude towards me got worse over time and my friends started treating me badly. They would leave sex toys all over the place, watch movies late and loud when my bedroom was right there, glare at me if I cooked during their couple time, even though they hogged the TV between 4 to 9 p.m. Yeah, this is all messed up. This is all messed up. This is a gross overreach of boundaries, and you're justifying it with your insecurities. I got a boyfriend and started spending a lot of time with him. After things got worse, my friend began locking my cat in small cages and putting her in the shower. What? He also began talking differently to me and leaves the kitchen in an absolute mess. Mold to make it difficult for me to cook. They're just like, what? Leave the kitchen in an absolute mess, parenthetical mold, to make it difficult for me to cook. I found used condoms in the lounge. It then got to the stage where we wouldn't talk, but all the tormenting was still going on. I decided to leave and started looking for somewhere else. The lease was up in 4 months, but we had not discussed what we wanted to do. I found out through his sister and a close friend of mine that they had been saving up this whole time to move out and would be moving in a few weeks. This was news to me. I couldn't afford the rent by myself. I found a place before they did, spoke to the estate agent, and advised them of the situation. Turns out he had not been paying his full share of the rent, and she was not listed as living there. The agent did not hold me accountable for any of it. I paid 4 weeks leave before and I left. I didn't tell them when I was leaving, and on the day when they were not home, my friends helped me pack up and leave. The house was cleaned spotless. I also took all of my furniture, white goods, and kitchenware, so basically everything but his room. I took my cat. After I left, I received hundreds of missed calls and messages from them abusing me for not notifying them and taking everything and my cat. Most of his family also messaged me, telling me what an a-hole I am. My parents knew what I was doing, supported me, but have also called me an a-hole because our families are still not exactly on speaking terms. Yeah, you're not the a-hole at all. Like, they were leaving used condoms in the living room while living together with you. Locking the cat, yeah, plus the animal abuse, exactly. Locking the cat in small cages and then putting that cage in the shower? Leaving unannounced and taking all of your own belongings are the least you could have done. Ah! New prediction going live. New prediction. Am I the hole for refusing to eat food my fiance lets his kids touch? Exactly as stated. I live with my fiance and his 2 kids, both under 7. He is gone 2 weeks out of every month, and when he's gone, I do not serve meals family style. The kids get a plate pre-made. When he's here, he puts all the food on the table and lets them grab it to put it on their plates, and every single item gets raw dog manhandled by filthy hands. And I refuse to eat that food. I'll leave the table and do not return, nor do I ever partake in that food. Am I the hole? He's made it clear he thinks I'm a psycho for not eating food his kids have touched. They do not wash their hands, and despite repeated attempts by me to force them to wash hands and not touch the food with their hands. Top comment asks for more information. They quoted the section, they do not wash their hands despite repeated attempts for me to force them to wash their hands. Why are you even serving them food before they wash their hands? You can wait as long as they can. Also, does your fiance actually know what family style food is? Because you still use utensils when serving it. Oh, wait. Oh. So someone said, is this something you want to deal with for the rest of your life? I couldn't be with someone who doesn't teach their children proper hygiene in regards to washing their hands before eating. It would make me question their thoughts on hygiene in general. OP responds, seriously, it's a shared custody situation. So basically, it's an issue 6 months out of the year. But lately it's become a huge problem for me, and I wonder, am I the problem? No, this would be a complete no-go for me. You teach your kids proper table manners and to not shove their grubby, dirty children hands into into communal food dishes, or I'm out. I'm leaving. I watched a 5-year-old scratch their butt and sniff. You are not the problem. Real. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say not the asshole. I'm just trying to get a flib-flabbing paycheck, okay? I'm just here to get paid and leave, okay? I'm just here to get paid, and I'm here to leave. Ha ha! Animation immunity! But then body blocking.